Hello, please, are you able to see me?
Yes, we can. Kingsley, stop the recording and then let's restart. We can
Are you able
see
to
you
see me?
and
You can see me? All right.
we can
Okay.
see you. Yes. Hello. How are you?
I'm fine, madam. Good afternoon.
Awesome. So we're going to start by playing our signature song. Okay. We're going to start by playing the signature song. We'll go through a few things. I will introduce you and then we'll kick things off. Any questions for before we start?
Um, my only question is I can wait.
Awesome. I love the energy already. All right. Kingsley, please let's get the ball rolling. Well, it's well, hello everyone, and thank you for your time. This is our first Tech Talk for the year 2026, and we are so happy to have all of you here, Tech Hub community, and those who are joining us on Zoom. Thank you so much for your time. I want to use this opportunity to wish you a happy new year because it's our first episode for the year. Thank you for your support in 2025. You allowed us into your spaces to empower and share content from industry leaders, change makers, and trailblazers, shaping the future. And for that, we are most grateful to you. We are back, bigger and better, and ready to dive into a year of innovation, disruption, and empowerment. And today's tech talk is just the start. So buckle up because we are about to get real about tech and impact. Today, we are privileged to host Mr. Foster Oponba, CEO of Gumption Excel. The name alone of the company should tell you something. But he's going to talk about a burning issue, which is unveiling opportunities for students to embrace technology and innovation. But first, let me tell you a bit about our guest speaker, who Mr. Foster Pomba is. He is a dynamic entrepreneur and education innovator. He's the founder I mentioned and CEO of Gumption Excel, an educational consulting brand driving excellence in education through innovative platforms and partnerships. And I have to tell you, we are sharing his summarized bio because his background is so extensive. So we are sharing just an abbreviated version of his bio. With a background in nursing and experience in edtech, Foster has worked with Digital Education Group and Skills Metrics Limited, expanding access to learning resources and leading initiatives like the Microsoft Office Specialist World Championship in Ghana. At Gumption Excel, Foster's mission is to inspire aspirations by creating unique educational platforms and partnerships that empower global achievers. His team's focus is on doing exceptional or exceptions and cultivating impactful outcomes. If you encounter a Foster who doesn't inspire a drive for big rareness and positive stubbornness in your mission, then he isn't the right fit for you or it isn't him. And this is a direct quote from Foster himself. So, Foster, I am so excited to have you here. You did
Mm.
serve as our judge during the Tech Guru meetup, and it's just a privilege to have you on the show today. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Madam Doreen. I'm so honored and privileged to be hosted by you. I call you a queen of tech, and it's such an honor to be hosted. I want to acknowledge all the people who are joining us online. I can perceive that it's not only people who are my colleagues or people who wish to draw from me, but people who are also ahead of me who are also online. And I want to salute everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I am excited and I want to dig right in. What in your background made you want to invest in empowering Ghana's youth through STEM and innovation?
Hmm. Well, so that sounds a simple question, but the lead up to that answer in my life is quite long. I'll do my best to summarize it. Yeah,
Please.
so I didn't start out entering tech by a major decision I made from the start. So I had completed a nursing school somewhere back in 2008, and due to other factors, I wanted to change course in life. And in that process, I got myself engaged with an educational consulting firm popular here in Accra. I had to volunteer for them. The story is that I heard their announcement on radio about their premier conference called the School Summit, which is still held here annually in Accra. and I wanted to be mentored. I wanted to learn the industry. I really wanted mentorship. So I picked the number, I called, and interestingly, it was the CEO who picked the call. And I told him what I wanted to do. And he said, okay, come over. So I got the opportunity to mentor in this conference that happened at British Council. And after the 3 days, he just employed me. That was how I got my first employment out of the nursing world. And I got the opportunity to be mentored very well under him, very briskly, very seriously. And fast forward, years later, when I wanted to start Gumption X, I wanted to, I wanted to just leave the world of working for people. And so I started Gumption X. It will interest you to know that in mind, when I was working for the first company way back in 2010, 2011, but I had never materialized the company until 2021. And so when I started Gumption X, I loved education. I wanted to do education, but quickly I realized the major field of tech. And I saw that I could make a big impact there together with what I was doing. And I learned myself into it.
I love that. And now I'm going to ask you the name Gumption X. Tell me a bit about your company, why the name, and what you do.
Thank you so much. So that's part of the story I was telling, which I summarized. As I had mentioned, I had gone to that first company to seek mentorship. So I was there working as a sales executive, but the CEO knew that I was there for mentorship, and that is what he was doing for me. One day I was seated in the showroom, and I was thinking about my company. I was thinking about what name I should call it. And I thought to myself that I should have something that should resemble me, looks like me, something that comes from within me so I can really live for it. And I was thinking about qualities that I carry. And then I realized that I carry a lot of qualities that match with the word gumption. The word gumption has been most of the time associated with wind power, but there's more to it. It talks about inspired intuition. It talks about aggressiveness. It talks about swiftness, dynamism. It talks about boldness, courage, taking the bull by the horn, running. And I saw that all these qualities are mine. And I wanted something that I can really identify with and really stand for. So I said to myself, well, let's do the X these things. And so the name Gumption Excel came.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Now, let's come to Ghana. And I have to say, this is our first time of hosting the events in Ghana. So I am so excited. Normally, it's all over the world, and now we are here. So, really excited about that. But I wanted to ask you, especially in Ghana, and not even in Ghana, across, it's always the men who go into tech. And some students, forget it. People think tech, oh my God, I'm not a tech person. This is always the first thing you hear. How can we get people interested in tech? Because I have seen some of the amazing videos that your company has been doing, but how can we get people interested in tech from the beginning?
Well, thank you. That's actually a simple question, but it's actually a game changer question. Because if we're able to answer that, then it means anybody who understands and accepts it gets defined, redefined in their life.
Yeah.
So we have come to a place in this world where tech defines everything. I tell a funny story many a times of how and when I first saw a computer. I first saw a computer way back in 1998, 99 thereabout. I was in class 6 thereabout. The school in which I was, the authorities had put us, my class, in the school bus and driven us to the only second. And it was an excursion. It was a trip.
I
They
see.
had driven us there. And on arrival, we formed queues entering the science lab in fewer numbers, only to go see a big white box that a man was introducing as a computer. I remember the story of seeing a mouse and the cursor. I left the lab with the notion that something was inside the mouse pad that was controlling the cursor because the mouse pad was so huge. It was designed like a platform on the table. I tell this story remembering those days. Those days was the days of phone cards, communication centers, space to space. Mobile phones were very few. In fact, I had my first mobile phone all the way in 2006 when I was in the nursing school. My time has changed so much under my own eyes as young as I. And the question of how we can get people interested, first of all, my answer is this. There is no other way but the way. And what do I mean by this? What I mean by this is no matter what people do, where they decide to be, no matter choice they make, whatever the choices they make, they have no choice than to use the technology. And by dint of that, they naturally will have to start using it even before they are introduced to it. So you have grannies, you have granddaddies using tech just because they have to, not because somebody necessarily is even teaching them. So the first thing I would say is how we can introduce people to tech, how we can get people using tech is just allow them to be. As long as they want to live in
I
this
love that.
world, they will have to introduce themselves in tech in the first place. Now, going further, there are many interesting ways that we can get tech to people. I think the best way is look at how people have charted a course for their own lives. Because whatever people have chosen to do, there is technology there. If a man wants to sell food by the roadside, there's technology for it. If a man wants to go to the farm, there's technology for it. If a man wants to sleep and have good night's sleep, even there's technology for it to help and assist. So we have to look at whatever the world people have defined for themselves and how they intend to live in this world. And then we look at the tools that are very relevant to them in their own field, and then we empower them with it. It's as simple as that.
I love that. And I'm going to ask a follow up to say it's about, you mentioned the skills and the mindset, right? How do we change those mindset? So, my follow up question to that is what are some of the skills you think students, young people, can leverage? I mean, my mom is 78 and she sends me these videos from TikTok, and I'm like, what's going on, mother? So what are some of the skills that you think these young people will need to scale in a digital world? And I like the
Thank you very
background.
much. Yes, thank you very much. I want to make a note before I proceed. I realized that in every generation, there are several entities who have tried to influence the future change makers.
Mhm.
Now, it happens that students are the crop of the generation, the larger, makeup of the generation that are the change makers of tomorrow. I can make a note that of all the change makers that are trying to influence tomorrow's future change makers, technology itself is the most aggressive change maker among the change makers of tomorrow. And it looks like whilst they are seeking to prepare themselves to change the world, something is changing them. And it's interesting that what is changing them is actually what they will need to use to change the world tomorrow, which is technology. Now, whilst they are preparing themselves to change the world tomorrow, something is changing them, and they need to get that change in themselves at the same time. We want to look at tools that will help them become better in their own field of learning. You want to look at tools of AI, you want to look at machine learning, you want to look at coding, you want to look at emerging tech robotics. These are places that every learner needs to leverage to make themselves relevant. You can't stay in this world and face tomorrow without these tools. If anybody is not learning technology, it shouldn't be a learner. It shouldn't be a student. Grandfathers are learning. Grandmothers are learning. You can't leave yourself out unless you want to be outdated. Yesterday, I thought this on my mind, and I said to myself, one other way I can define the work I do is that I am in the business of committing murder against the outdating champion of illiteracy in tech. And essentially, I'm helping to defeat that ugly thing called tech illiteracy. because everybody needs it today. All the tools that are available are the very tools you will need. If you are not finding them, then you are not in this world.
You are spot on. And it's so funny you mentioned that, because my follow-up question was going to be, um, how can students stay ahead in a rapidly changing tech ecosystem? I have an intern working for us at Tech Hub. His name is Elkana, and he was telling me, he says, Madam Doreen, we have to start thinking about Web 3.0. And I'm like, talk to me, So just when people feel like they get in the hang of something, something else happens. So, how can students stay up to date in this rapidly changing tech ecosystem?
Thank you. So it speaks back to what I said, that while students are trying to prepare themselves to be change makers tomorrow, something is changing them. Now that's like a tug of war. And what that calls for is not just innovation, it calls for extreme innovation, serious innovation, and being swift at that. The majority of technology we are using today in our world seem to come from the West. Very little seem to come from our part of the world, which is Africa. We have tend to become major consumers instead of drivers. And so every now and then we wake up seeing the next technology. AI, just about 5 years ago, we didn't hear about it. But today, almost every day, there's a new model in town that you will have to know and make use of. What that simply means is if a learner is here in Africa and wants to stay ahead, that learner needs to be super innovative and stop just the use of technology. Because if you are not, you will end up in the process of thinking that you might be shocked that you wake up tomorrow and things would have gone so fast that you would have been outdated. You wouldn't have thought you were going to be outdated in 5 days, in 1 week, in a month, but it would have happened. I think that if learners or students want to stay ahead of the game, they need not to just be consumers and brag about it, that I know this too. I think it's becoming a canker. Learners are beginning to brag about, I know this too. Do you know this too? I know this too. I use this too. How about I have built this too? How about I have driven this innovation? How about people in the West are using my technology? And I think as we go ahead, I'll talk about something that Gamshin is also doing. So I think that students need to be swift in their own world of innovation as much as they want to be change makers and leaders. Thank
I
you.
love that, because we definitely have to shift from consumerism, just consuming, to actually being the doers behind it. I have so many questions, but we also received a bunch of questions from our Tech Hub community ahead of today's event. So I'm going to ask you one last question that I have, and then I'll get you the audience questions. What is, based on what you've seen, what is the most exciting tech trend that you think or you see shaping the future?
Well, that sounds quite obvious. Yes, that sounds quite obvious. So everybody knows today that we're looking at AI and we're looking at robotics. It's now something I don't want to call emergent tech. Except I want to call myself an outdated person because it's too relevant in our times now. It's even on our websites, on our phones, everywhere. AI is everywhere today. In our part of the world where we wouldn't have thought that it should have been too relevant so quickly, it is. So AI is a trend. We don't want to talk about what people consider as the potential negatives and the fearisms about it, but AI is a trend still. We haven't seen some emergent tech that is beating AI as at now. We don't know. In the world of tech, anything can happen. Maybe something can pop up tomorrow morning, which is superior to AI. Even in the world of AI itself, there is a race to super intelligence, artificial super intelligence. And so we don't know, but as of now, I think AI is still the reigning champion with its own robotics as a companion. I think that many people seem to be looking more at AI than the companion of robotics. But I want to make a note that robotics is a serious companion, and anybody that is interested in AI should be thinking about robotics as well.
That is absolutely true. You always have to have those tentacles and say what else is coming, because to your point, if you're not ready, you'll be outdated before you know, and you'll be held, you just have to make sure that you're up to date and always improving. So thank you for that. I have so many questions from our audience, but we're going to take a short break to thank our sponsors who are sponsoring today. And of course, your team for allowing us to take you out of your busy schedule to support this. So we thank your company, Gumption Excel, for the time and the investment that they've done for us. GH accommodation, it provides hostel accommodation for students. And of course, Tech Hub's nonprofit wing, which is Tech for All, making sure that, to Foster's point, every single individual has access to technology. Mavis Inspires, this is a motivational speaker, and she's always supporting our program. So we thank Mavis Inspires for being a sponsor for today's program. And of course, because this is Tech Talk for Students, Ophir Agro wanted to be part of it, and they provide all the assorted gari that students use in school. So to all of our sponsors, especially Gumption Excel, we say thank you for making today's event a possibility. I will go quickly to our upcoming master classes as well, and then we'll dive straight into the various questions that we have. So we do have 3 master classes that are happening here in Accra, Ghana. So if you are in Accra, um, take a look at our platforms. We have the training going on. Um, and of course, we have the training going on. We have executive presence, effective influence, and then we have design thinking. Um, Going back to the Tech Talks, the Tech for All campus stores, it's also an upcoming event. And then we have the hackathon that's also coming up. So please check our websites and make sure that you are a part of the movement. Thank you. All right. So I'm going to ask you the questions that we received from the audience, and it just came through on my phone. So I'm going to pull them here. The first question came from Elizabeth, and she says, what's the most surprising thing you have learned through your work with Gumption Excel, and how has it impacted your approach to education?
I want to thank Elizabeth for asking this question. If it's possible, Elizabeth, I'd like to know you. I'm about to say something which is quite very interesting. It's non-tech, but it defines everything. At the start of my business, prior to the start of my business, I had the opportunity of attending, no, not attending, of hosting a birthday celebration in my home. A family had and was celebrating a birthday of their mother in my home. I got to know that that woman was a 90-year-old woman, and I became very curious. I'm a Christian and I believe in the power of blessing from aged people. I thought to myself, let me approach this old lady and ask her for some prayer. Upon doing that, anticipating the woman will pray for me, she disappointed me, but ended up becoming a mighty blessing in my life. She did not pray for me, but she gave me an advice, and it's something that has stayed with me all my life since then. She told me and said, as you go ahead in this your life, what people consider as disgusting, that they do not want to get closer to, something ugly, non-pleasant, that they do not want to get closer to, never run away from it. You get closer to it. I was very well stricken by that advice. In place of praying for me, I thought about it very well and it stayed with me. And I realized that it has defined a lot of things in my life. I want to talk about attitude. Many people don't recognize that the first capital to starting a business is not money. I think that many people, whilst they are concerned about capital for business, businesses, on the other hand, are concerned about character for people. And the word attitude is something that is your first capital in any venture you want to start. In this thing called Gumption X that I've been doing, I've been handling people. Education is dealing with people. You are dealing with people's lives. You're going to encounter people who have all kinds of manners, who have all attitudes. A decision to want to work with them, even people in my own team, has become a defining thing. I've come across people in my team who have had attitude that is very, very disgusting. But I look at the other side of them and I realize they are very useful. And even if they are not extremely useful now, they can be extremely useful today. I have seen in my life people receive legacies, not because they had certificates, but because they showed good attitude. I know somebody who encountered someone for just 5 minutes and got a huge blessing in his business. If I'm to talk of one particular thing that has become a major thing on my mind in my life that I can't forget, I can talk about many things, but I will never forget about that advice the woman gave me. Attitude. It defines everything.
Thank you. I have four more questions. I want to make sure we get them all through. So the next question came from Jackie, and Jackie's in the US. She says, how do you balance your passion for education, innovation, with the challenges of entrepreneurship in Ghana's tech space?
If I got a question correct, how do I
How,
juggle?
how
The line was breaking, so if you can repeat it.
do you balance your passion for just that comes in edtech? Sorry. So, okay, somebody needs to mute. Okay, thank you. All right. So Jackie's question is, how do you balance your passion for education, innovation, with the challenges of entrepreneurship in Ghana's edtech space? And I think you froze now. Okay. I think Foster froze.
Okay. If the line is clear and I can hear you correctly, I'd like to answer now.
Okay. Do you want me to repeat the question or you have it? I think you froze again. That's the joy and beauty of doing some of these tech talks, outside of the US, and other places. But I think you coming back on. Oh, wait. And just when it's getting juicy, you always get these interruptions. So, okay. Would you like me to repeat the question?
Yes, please. You can.
Okay, sure. So Jackie is saying, how do you balance your passion for education with the challenges of entrepreneurship in Ghana's edtech space?
Well, I think the way I do that is just by moving forward as an entrepreneur. We live in a part of the world where challenges are almost becoming normal. If only you want to play in this place and you want to grow as a young entrepreneur. I see so many challenges every day, but I think the question in itself is answering itself. Passion sometimes, if not all the times, overrides a lot of difficulties to the point that sometimes you don't even notice that there are certain challenges. You are just moving on. You are just like a bulldozer, seeking to make impact in somebody's life and seeking to make a living. Um, I don't have the time to talk about the driving factors that finally got me to start Gumption X, even though I had thought about it all the way back in 2010. But you will realize that there are certain drivers that will move you to move. And that's what toughens you in this part of the world as an entrepreneur. I think that every young person that starts business in this part of the world, if gets the opportunity to host himself in the other part of the world, will make a break.
I like it. This question interesting. This is from Prince here in Ghana. And his question is, what's the biggest misconception people have about the role of technology in education, and how are you working to change it? Because I know in America and other places, teachers are worried that students are just using AI for studies and all that. So this question, I'm interested to know what you think about, and I can repeat it if you need me to.
Please do.
Okay. What is the biggest misconception people have about the role of technology in education, and how are you working to change that?
Thank you. I think the very clear misconception that is everyday trending is that AI is going to take my job. Um, I think that that misconception is also very well powered by a lot of illiteracy about that technology. In as much as I can say there's a part truth in that because AI won't necessarily think that drives innovation and it drives a new sense of what else can we do? Way that
Thank
we as a company are working around this is by starting from the ground. We are in schools teaching STEM, offering STEM, building STEM labs across the country, and it's exciting and engaging children. I think there's no better place to drive change in the society than amongst children.
I agree. And I've seen some of the work that your company does, and I think it's so powerful. I wish we had asked you for at least a clip to show, because what you shared with me, I was just, bestowed. So thank you. I
Oh, thank
think
you
we
so
have to
much.
mute somebody. Yeah. All right. So this question is from Nana Yao. And let me see if I can mute this person here. Okay. Thank you. Okay. This question is from Nana Yao. And he says, can you share a pivotal moment that solidified your commitment to empowering and inspiring global achievers through education? Can you share
I
a
think
pivotal moment? Yeah, please
that's
go
when
ahead.
I had my first client. I think that's when I had my first client. Uh, it was it was an exciting thing to know that I've started a business, something that 2010, so like 10, 11 years back, and I have had my first client. It was a very I mean striking moment that
Think the bandwidth. We lost you for a moment, but you are back.
yeah,
Okay, okay. Are you back?
sorry, yes.
Okay, no, that's
Um yes, yes. To start a business, that has been a dream for many years. If even um uh, something that seemed like what I would call today like smartphones and tablets. In those days, I didn't see them.
Yeah.
To get to a place where I finally started a thing and I got a first client, it was such a joyful thing. You have no idea.
I can only imagine. I can only imagine. The last question that we have from our audience is, I love this one too. And this one is from Rosemary. Her question is, Rosemary from Ghana. She says, how do you see the future of education evolving in Africa and in Ghana, to be precise? And what role do you envisage Gumption X playing in that journey?
I think the person is a genius because he wants to have an idea of my business plans and tap into it. So without coming for consultation, the person is really smart. Well, I see a place where, because education is defining every aspect of our life, specifically because of technology, people want to invest in education. And that will lead to what I call micro investments in education. I see a field of education in Africa where everybody wants to have a piece of it because it's so booming. And this is what I can expand that, if time will allow me. The mega companies that have been at the forefront of education will still be there, but we are going to see people, we are going to see things like individuals increasingly investing in education because it's paying off. Everybody wants to learn technology today. And so, for example, if you wanted to invest in a company that is a startup, it's a nice thing. Many people are doing that. School business is a very good business. Now it's booming because Africa's population is increasing. The youth of Africa is exploding. You know the statistics and the trends about what Africa is going to be in terms of its youth size in the next 5 years or 10 years. And so the money is in Africa. It's going to be in Africa. And those who invest in education are going to make it, depending on what tool they use as the direct tool they use to invest in education. But I see a place where people are investing in education, not as mega companies, but as in their own small ways. Because I know that companies are going to open those doors. And I tell you, Gumption X is about to do something.
I love it. I can't wait to see what you come up with, because I know we've had a few chats here and then. I'm excited for you and looking forward to what you unveil. So watch out, Tech Hub community. Yeah, Gumption X is cooking up some amazing things. So looking forward to seeing that. Um, we have come to the end of the questions, but I have what I love. Some of the stuff that I love the most is the rapid fire questions. Don't think about it. It's very rapid. So very quick yes or no questions, or give me the answer, very rapid. So we have a few seconds to get this, and then I'll invite you to give us your final words, and then we'll wrap it up. So I know you mentioned the old lady who gave you an advice, but I'm going to ask you a question, still on advice, but not what the old lady told you. So what is the best advice you have received in your entrepreneurial journey, and who gave it to you?
I am tempted to go back to that old lady, but but you have already barred me. So yes, because truthfully, it sounds like the best of all the advice I have received on my journey have been associated with HR. So like to say to myself, that old lady is a very huge HR consultant. The best of advices I have received out of the lots, the majority of them are in the area of people management, learning to work with people, learning to accept people, and helping them to develop. Because as an entrepreneur, if you can't build people, you won't be able to be successful at building legacies. Yes. And you will have to understand that it's not all the people who are with you who will stay with you. Some are going to get opportunities to move on, and you may not know. Some are going to be better than you in the game, and that's life. It's such a beautiful opportunity to invest in people, and that's the best advice I've had, to be patient with people who are not up to speed and to learn to walk them through the journey. Is I call it's a crazy advice I've had. As aggressive as I am, I like speed and I like to do things and go my way when I want to go. But I learned that sometimes I need to pull the brakes and move along with people.
I like that. Um, that's the greatest thing you could do, investing in people so they can rise. I like that. What's one thing you are currently obsessed with outside of work?
Hmm. Oh, uh, well, I think that will lead me partly into my hobbies, but it will still lead me partly into work. I love writing music. I have written lots of unpublished songs. Um, I love the gospel space, so I've written several songs. Every now and then I write songs. So many of them. I love watching documentaries about politics, about history. If you give me a documentary and if not giving me food, you've helped me a lot.
I love that. You should let
Yes.
us listen to some of your songs. And why aren't you publishing it? People are hungry for
Oh,
gospel music, you
well,
know?
it's just an issue of timing. Yes, I think one of these days you'll be hearing about them. But even in my office, my team once a while they hear me sing a lot. Yeah. I have an obsession currently about a product I am building.
Oh,
And
I
let me
think
talk
we
about
lost
it.
you. Mhm.
Yes, let me talk about it. We are currently building a platform that is like a combination of HR and a learning management system put together. We are seeking to solve problems that STEM learning companies have a lot when it comes to deploying their own personnel to schools. So we are answering questions like, well, how can I automate all the processes? If I deploy a team of facilitators to a location, how do I know they have arrived? How do I know that they are within the compound? How do I know that they are teaching what they have to do to teach? How do the parents get to know live? How do we make it exciting? We are answering almost every question in the field of education when it comes to STEM learning. And it's something that takes my time a lot these days. I think
I
very
like
soon you will
that.
hear
So
about that
that's
platform. Sure.
I can't wait to hear about it and I can't wait to listen to your music. So please make it available. But I have a last question for you. What is the most memorable feedback you have received from a student or teacher who has used your services, Gumption Excel services?
Mm. I think that goes back to when a parent visited me with a special child. Um, a parent visited me from a school with his son who is a special child and was concerned about how he's going to pursue tertiary education. We were blessed with the opportunity of engaging this child, engaging the parent, and giving them a particular pathway that they can trail and get a child, going forward in life. We're able to help the parent identify the grades, the strengths in this particular child, even though he had failed all his WASI programs, and we're able to map out a very clear pathway of how this child can grow. Interestingly, that's in the area of tech. And this parents' feedback is just awesome. I'm excited to know that we are not just being of help to ordinary people, but we are also able to make impact in the life of special needs people.
I love that. We are planning, Tech Hub is planning something around special needs. So we will be coming to you to collaborate. I think it will be an amazing teamwork. So keep an eye out for us.
Wow. Thank you, and that'll be lovely. Before we
Awesome.
go, I think um, with the privilege you've given me today, I'm so honored, and I also want to appreciate you. by making an announcement on your platform. One of our flagship projects is called Geekland Online. We launched this project to be a blessing to parents who have heard a lot about this thing about coding, robotics STEM, that their children are bombarding them with, and they don't know anything about it, but they are yearning to learn about it. And so we launched Geekland Online, which is a beautiful online platform hosting parents and their children together to learn coding, learn robotics, and compete together.
I
We
love that.
have been very successful doing 4 seasons, sorry, 3 seasons, and we today just released the opening gates for the 4th season. I want to offer this opportunity to all parents who are on Tech Hub Africa, or parents who know parents who will be interested in learning on that platform. It's an unpaid platform. The only thing they need to pay for is seriousness, consistency, and readiness.
I love that. And this is amazing. Please share the link with us. I will have somebody on my team reach out to you and we can share on our social media platform for you as well. So thank you for that. I love it when we use technology for good. It's so impactful. So thank you. This is awesome. And congratulations to you and your team for that.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank
Any
you.
final words to our students?
Well, I want to say I'm so humbled that you joined this platform today to listen to a young person like me. To the industry leaders at Tech Hub, I want to say I salute you. Thank you for the opportunity to associate with you and to contribute to the great work you are doing. I'm so honored, and I would love the opportunity all the time to be a blessing to young people. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I have to say thank you for also joining us on the Tech for All campus tour. I am so excited and I'm just waiting to see the impact you make when we go to the first school, which is actually for the younger generation, right? The middle school schoolers. So thank you so much for devoting your time and your resources to be part of this game-changing experience. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You can go to gumptionx.org and you'll find a lot. Talk to us. Thank you so much. Bye.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Gumption X, like you said, go to gumptionx.com to see the amazing stuff that they are
.org.
doing. Yes,
Sure.
.org to see the amazing stuff that they are doing. Gumption X is doing. Gumptionx.org. Please visit them, and I promise you, you will not be disappointed. I want to thank you, Foster, and your organization once again for dropping knowledge nuggets to us today. We are so, so blessed. And I'm glad you said yes when we invited you on this platform. To the Tech Hub Africa team, I say thank you to you. My heart goes out to you. You always deliver when I need help. Thank you. To our viewers, supporters, and the Tech Hub Africa community of innovators and disruptors, I say thank you for your time and questions. Without those questions, we wouldn't have this, what do you call it, this program. So thank you so much for always feeding us with those questions. To our students, I implore you to consider careers in STEM and STEAM. Africa's tech revolution needs you to step up. So do so and navigate your career journey towards something that is rooted in technology. Stay tuned for more tech talks. And of course, let's make 2026 an unforgettable year. Break barriers, innovate. We have the platforms to support you. So break barriers, innovate, and you will not be disappointed. And on that note, I call upon the Tech Hub Africa Tech team to wrap us off. Anybody, everybody on here, we say thank you for your time. Back to you, tech team.
Thank you.
Until the next Tech Talks, continue to empower, innovate, disrupt, sustain, and transform Africa and the world, one innovation at a time. Until the next pep talks, continue to empower, innovate, disrupt, sustain, and transform Africa and the world, one innovation at a time.
Right. Thank you, everyone. And this brings us to the end. Thank you and have a great night. Thank you.